Comes almost 40 years after he died in custody. Aggett died under, as you know, mysterious circumstances while in police custody in 1982. Police claim he had taken his own life, but his family is convinced that he was murdered. Live proceedings, we have the link back up. Let's go there now.
He may have said that he was hoping to study while he was under arrest because he was very anxious to continuing his medical career and advancing it, I believe.
And according to your affidavit, he actually requested certain books on emergency surgery.
I can't recall, my lord, whether it was at that visit or whether the message had come down through the Detainees Parents Support Committee, but certainly there was a request to buy a very large book about emergency surgery, and my parents were in the process of getting hold of this book because we didn't have Amazon in those days, so trailing a book and finding it to purchase it was a little bit more difficult than it is today. But they were certainly looking to buy that book for him.
If you could just indicate to the court why you thought he wanted that book on emergency surgery.
Because he had said during the visit we had that he was very keen to study and that he wanted to advance his medical studies. I think we assumed, he didn't tell us, but we assumed it would be surgery because the work he was doing at Baragwanath at that time was largely in the operating theatre.
During the course of your discussion with Neil, did he give an indication or perhaps an estimate as to how long he thought he would be remaining in detention?
I believe he said 2 to 3 months.
And was there a reaction from Warrant Officer Mapope at that moment?
Yes, there was.
And what was his reaction?
You are not to talk about the case.
Did you, your mum, ever feel threatened by a Warrant Officer Mapope?
No, we didn't feel threatened by him, but we felt that any incident on our behalf would only make Neil's life worse, so we certainly obeyed and we did what we were told. We didn't want this privilege taken away from us too soon. We felt very much we'd been given the privilege. We were made to feel we were being given a privilege to visit him, and we didn't want to undermine it in any way at all because they wouldn't take it out on us. They'd only take it out on him at the end of the day.
And perhaps just to wrap up the evidence on the visit, do you recall how the visit ended?
With tears and hugs on our part, and he being as affectionate as ever and constantly reassuring us that he'd be fine. He'd be fine. I'll be fine, Mum. I'll be fine, Joe. And in a sense we believed him. He hadn't had a sort of closeted upbringing by any means. He'd lived in Cape Town in a worker's cottage on a vineyard, a wine farm without any heating or water. He toughed it out. He was a strong man, and his reassurance led a little assuring for ourselves. But that building was very full, and we left with extremely heavy hearts.
Was there any talk or discussion about the possibility of further visits?
No.
And indeed that was the only visit you were able to arrange?
That is correct, yes.
That was the only visit?
The only visit, yes.
Lord, it is 11 a.m. and I was wondering if we should give the witness a short break. Perhaps it is an appropriate time for the tea gentlemen.
Yeah.
Mrs. Berger, how much time would you like to rest? 15 minutes or?
I don't need much time. I'll be all right. Thank you.
I think 11:15 should be fine.
Thank you, Mum.
All right, as you can hear, it seems that the emotional wounds are still very raw with regards to this case. You are listening to testimony there by Jill Berger, the sister of Dr. Neil Aggett. And remember, this happened in 1982, his death. He died under mysterious circumstances while in police custody. Police then said that he took his own life. But as we've been listening to past interviews as well from the parents of Dr. Neil Aggett, they don't believe that's a fact. They believe that he was murdered. So we're listening to testimony, as we heard from Nozintombi Mia. This is likely to take between 6 and 8 weeks. Yesterday, there was an inspection in Loco of where this all happened. So we will come back to this case as soon as they resume there. All right, I want to take you now to